What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Mumble Mouth MMA podcast. I'm Jaden. Next to me is Bryden,
Ciao.
and you are joined behind us by Jeremy Maitland. How are you, Jeremy?
Very good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Now, I have to run off this man's resume
Oh, yeah.
because seriously, the more we talk, the longer it gets.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Pan Pacs champion, blue, purple, brown, black. Nationals champion, blue, purple, brown, black. States champion, blue, purple, brown, black. 15 years of coaching. He's a fusion veteran as well, fusion winner. He's also a third degree black belt. He also helps run an organization for violence against women and kids to help bring them back through jiu-jitsu into the community and back into a positive place. So the list goes on and on. It's bananas.
Madness.
Madness. So we want to learn all about it. And and how can we forget from last weekend? Runs the Quintet as well. Yep. I love it.
There's no way you only have 24 hours in a day. You have to have like 60-hour days or something.
If only, man. Honestly, it's just you end up multitasking because I'm silly. This is like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. It's like, no, don't do what I do.
I love it.
It's very tough.
I love it. So let's go back to literally the beginning. What actually pulled you into martial arts in the first place?
Um, well, I used to do. I've said this on other podcasts. I started doing performing arts. Like I was doing like singing, acting, dancing, and that stuff my whole life until I was, till 18 years of age, and I was fighting with one of the girls at the studio, and Joseph Tomei, who is one of my best friends. We've been best friends for like over 20 years. He's a brown belt at AT, and he said, "Oh," and I was just ringing him, having a bitch and moan about the fight, and he says, "Just come to my jiu-jitsu gym and meet my coach, just to take your mind off it." So, and then that's where I met Ninos, and then I got introduced to Ninos, started talking to him. He's just, obviously a very good conversationalist, really, really nice guy. And he said, so give my cousin a role, a guy named John Ilya who doesn't do jiu-jitsu anymore. And he was like 60 kilos. And at the time, I had a knee injury and I was like 150 kilos. Like I was very heavy. And I just said, dude, I've got no ego. I don't need to prove anything. I don't want to fight this guy just in case I squash him. And he stubbed me like three times in like a minute. And I'll go, what the hell? And I'm like, this is really cool. And I told Ninos, um, oh look, I've got to fix my knee. I want to give this a go, and I'll come back. And Ninos just did the old, oh yeah, this guy's gonna come back,
Yeah.
and this fat guy's never coming back. And I came back after the knee surgery, and Ninos goes, oh, this guy's probably gonna last 2 weeks, and I just never left. And then that's how it all started. And I just immediately was like, this is really cool because I was a massive pro wrestling fan, like WWE,
Yep.
WWF, growing up, and I love, obviously, and Ken Shamrock was one of my favorite wrestlers, like in WWF when he was still
True.
wrestling. He was doing all the sub stuff, and then I'd watch UFC and other, like, I just want to see two guys like, he's the world's most dangerous man, and that was the whole gimmick. And I was watching this at the time. I was watching this grappling. Go, this is shit. This is boring. This is like terrible. And then it was really funny. He started doing jujitsu, and like I think maybe 3 or 4 months in, I watched that same UFC again. It was Tito Ken Shamrock one, which
Oh,
was
yeah, yeah, yep.
huge for the UFC back in
Yep.
the day. And like I couldn't give two craps about the striking matches, and I just want to watch the grappling fights. So that was the beginning of my BJJ journey.
Crazy. Now, there was obviously a point where you've gone from just loving the sport to taking it on as basically your whole life with as your resume shows, but now you're doing things in the community and everything. Was there an exact moment where you're like, I'm gonna do this forever and as a job, or did it kind of fall in your lap, or what was kind of the transition into it becoming your job?
I think there was this. It was a hobby. It was a hobby for a long time, and I and like something we can talk about later, but like I've really like the competition side of things has always been a huge mental battle for me, like my anxiety and dealing with that. I've always performed better in the gym than I have in like overall. Like yes, you read my resume, yes, but there's a lot of L's that aren't mentioned in that resume, man. I've been doing this a long time, and that I really struggled, and there was just this kind of moment where I started believing in myself because of Ninos. There was a day I was rolling and I was rolling with one of the guys in the gym and I was, not doing great, but like I wasn't really pushing because I didn't believe myself. And then Ninos literally pulled me aside. He goes, "Hey, can I talk to you for a sec?" And I'm like, "Yeah, cool." Slaps me in the face, like literally slaps me in the face and goes, "Why are you fucking holding yourself back? You are better than this. Beat this guy." You're literally holding yourself back. And I'm like, I've never really kind of experienced that. And don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, I've got amazing parents. I got really supportive, loving parents. Um, and I'm very blessed with my parents, but I'd never kind of experienced that. Someone outside of like my folks that just actually kind of believed in it. It goes, "You're better than this." And then all of a sudden, um, I really didn't do well at white belt, except for my maybe last competition before I got my blue belt. And it was just this moment of like, you can do this. And then realistically, that's where and I was in love with it, but like it was like, let's see how far I can push this.
That's
And that was the turning point. That was a big turning point for me.
crazy. Now, obviously, Ninos has been a massive, massive part. You don't get slapped in the face by a man and still call him your coach without him being a massive inspiration. But even to today, who are you kind of watching to keep growing as a coach, or are you just learning more from Ninos still to this day to keep evolving as a coach? And who are you kind of drawing your inspiration from these days to keep growing? Because your students, for those who don't know, they are fucking monsters. they are. There are blue belts running a tear over fusion. They are everywhere. So who are you kind of structuring your coaching around, or who are you watching of today that you're loving and implementing their stuff?
I don't think there's one individual. I mean, one thing I loved about Neos back in the day, I think with martial arts, usually, especially during the 90s, 80s, 90s, and like those early years, like any sort of martial arts, you had one style in the gym and everyone had to do like the one style. Like you go to a karate gym, they've all got the one style. You go to a jiu-jitsu gym, they've got the one style. Where Neos was kind of the first for me personally, that was um open-minded in particularly in Australia. So like everyone has a different style. I mean, Ninos was, if those that have never seen Ninos, he's not little. He's a big, like he's a big
Yeah.
guy. And he's a guard player. He's a guard player. And it's like he's not particularly flexible. Obviously, like very strong, very competitive. His knowledge is unbelievable, but like he didn't fall into like the norms. You know what I mean? It's like cool, just do this and do that, and like it was just this little bit open-mindedness. I liked different styles, and then like over time, like once upon a time, 10th Planet was mocked. It was a really big, like they were like openly, you know, shunned in the community for a long time until realistically until Eddie had that super fight, the rematch with Hoyler Gracie
Yeah.
on Metamoris, and that changed a lot because obviously that wasn't a spectacular performance, but like I liked weird things. Like Dash chokes were weird, no gi was like, oh, do gi because it'll make your no gi better, and there was that. And then if you look in the modern day, obviously John Danaher is a huge inspiration. He's a wacky dude, but like um, he's a big inspiration. I think there's bits and pieces. I mean, I like taking. I think everyone's got a piece of the puzzle. I say that a lot. I have a lot of metaphors that I repeat over and over,
Yep.
and that's one of them. I think there's a lot, and I think you need to kind of find somewhere in the middle for you. Like eco is a huge debating topic in jiu-jitsu community at the moment. It's mocked. It's like, or you're completely on board. You're drinking the Kool-Aid, and you know what I mean. It's like there's no in between. I think there's some really good stuff in eco, but at the same time, I don't like full integration on anything, any tactic, any sort of style. And I think you mentioned that I'm very proud of my students.
Mm.
But they have a lot of freedom for self innovation, if that makes sense. Like uh, Odin Otterer, leg lock, very heavy leg lock guy. And he's this jacked kid. He's got Viking genes in him. Like he's just and he's a phenomenal leg locker. We talk about like even there's so many different styles. We've got MMA guys, we've got jiu-jitsu guys, we've got like guard players. I've got a very diverse style. I never shut down anyone's um their avenue of where they want to express themselves. So it's like it's cool. Yes, we work technique, but I also tell guys you got to put your own flair on something. I mean, even look at us. Like I'm a big giant guy. Like I'm 125 kilos. You know what I mean? I've got no neck. It's going to be very hard for me. Like versus you guys, you got very very good guard games. No, you got to do it my style. It's like no, that's stupid. Like that's ridiculous. You have to make it your own flair. You have to add your own spice to it. And I show you my teaching method is really simple. I show you very basic principles, very like the core of what the move is. And then I get guys to experiment with their flair. And then they all ask me, oh, do you think this is good? Are you tapping people out with it? Yes. Then yes, it's good.
Mm.
Vice versa. Oh, is this good? Are you getting anyone with it? No. We'll play around with it. If you're still not finding it, maybe it's not the right path for you. You know what I mean? Like I give that open mindedness as much as I can. That's the key.
Love it.
Okay. Now, I really want to hear about your competition career. So, my first question is what got you into comp, and was it part of the original plan to always compete? When you started jiu-jitsu, did you think you'd ever compete?
No, no, not
Not
at
at
all.
all.
I just loved it. I loved the sparring, and I 2 months into training, I jumped into I think Vic Championships. So
No
the
way.
Vics,
2 months in?
yeah,
Were you
two
pushed
months
into it
in.
or you electively chose to compete?
I jumped in like a genius. Like
What?
I'll get this. I'll do really well. I'm rolling really good. I'm fucking awesome. Like and literally I'm throwing punches. That's my knowledge of jiu-jitsu at that point, right?
Yeah.
So it's like yeah. And I lost, oh my gosh, I think it was like 20 seconds into the opening round.
Oh no.
And um but the guy I versed was a wrestler that had won the white belt division 2, 3 years in a row, like the open weight, the
Oh,
gi no gi open weight, and
yeah.
the ultra heavy, like 3 years in a row. So my very first experience of 2 months of training was a guy that was a wrestler and then 3 years of BJJ experience. So yeah,
What was
I'm
it like
literally I
coming
think I
back
got
from that?
five.
So,
Say that again.
after you lost within 20 seconds, your very first comp, how did you like deal with that after?
I mean, I was obviously disappointed, but I mean, what the guy said, Jez, you've trained for 2 months. Like,
Mm.
don't worry about it. Like, it's not the end of the world. I'm like, okay, cool. You say that, and I was like, I think I was 19 at the time, so
Wow.
going way back now. But it was like, look, it was kind of scary, obviously, because never really obviously experienced that. I don't know if there's a video somewhere of it, something like down the line. I think Joseph might have it on a hard drive when we still used hard drives.
Mm.
Um, um, but yeah, it was look, it was what it was. I only did one division, I only did a gi division, because
Okay.
no gi still wasn't. I don't know if no gi was. It was. I think it was kind of happening, but it wasn't. It wasn't huge at the time. It was mostly the gi competition. And back in the day, AET. I don't know if you've seen old school photos. We all had the red gis. AET was all in
Never
like.
seen it, no.
It was
Yeah.
called
Wow.
like the red gi. Yeah.
Wasn't it the brand
And then
Corral or I think you all had.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old red curry is an old, yeah, that's old school. I don't think I've got him. I think I've got it now. So, um, but yeah, I really didn't do well at white belt in competition. I
Hmm.
just couldn't put it together on the day, and like it just wasn't nothing clicked. Like I'd go into competition and basically I'd always be on the back foot. I'd always be in bad spots. Which hasn't changed much because that's my whole jiu-jitsu game. Apparently, I just fight in the worst possible positions. Um, I know it's crazy. Like I said, as far as points, like I'm the worst. the worst fighter as far as what's it called?
Like a
As far
point
as
system.
competition. It just
Yeah. I mean, it says
but
a lot about you. It's incredible that you persevered through it. Well, was there something that made you like fall in love with the competition scene?
I think when that talk I had with Nino, and I just pursued it because it was the first time for me where like I'm putting myself on the line. Like I always played it very safe, but always was quite happy being in the background for a lot of things. And it was like I'm really trying here. I'm trying, and it's like persevering on like, and I'm like, man, another competition. I'm losing, man. It sucks, man. It's like you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, and like, and of course you're still mature. Like I was 19 at the time. Like, what do you know about life at 19? You think you do, but like
Mm.
obviously, and I think I know everything at what at almost 38 now, and there's people with life experience beyond me. So like, it's just I'm like, what can I do differently? And then it was for me, it was a confidence thing where, and I said that slap in the face that I referred to is kind of like this wake up. And then I had a really good, only one really good wipeout comp, and it was the Pan Pacs of, I can't even tell the year. And I ran through the ultra heavyweight division. I think both my two matches in the ultra heavyweight was I think less both. I think they're like minute fights, and I won. So as a white belt, it was like cool. And at that moment, you had the confidence. And then I won the gold in that, and then I made it to this semi-finals of the open weight, and this guy was destroying me on points. I tried going for a lat drop, and I ended up on the bottom, and then he just racked up points on me. And basically, there's 20 seconds to go. I'm under side control. I get this Kimura and I flip him over and I'm ripping this thing on. And this guy's just not tapping. And my inexperience as a white belt is if I just moved to mount, I would have won on points. But because I had this Kimura and I'm ripping this Kimura on and he's not tapping, and then I lose on points. But like he couldn't go into the next match. He basically forfeited it because he'd injured himself, but he won the match. So I was pretty heartbroken that I couldn't get the win.
Mm.
But um, but then pulled me aside and goes, he actually said, bro, I'm super proud of you. Just so you know, you're probably going to get your blue belt at the next grading. I'm like, oh, okay,
Hey,
cool.
and that's what it's
Yeah.
all about, man. Those special moments.
Oh, yeah, it was a that was like a big and what that I say to guys is there's a moment in yourself where you want it like people like but you show it through action and there's a mentality that it's like okay when people like ask well when do you think I'm ready if you're asking when you're ready you're not ready like there's no um
Set date.
obviously you're yeah and there was something that had changed in my mentality um and it was like, cool, okay, this guy's ready for the next level, and that's how it happened. And I got graded to blue, and then I had a really good showing at blue belt, and that's when I said, got the GDA was a big part of my journey, which we were talking about before, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And that was a great competition, and like all the top level guys in Australia now that coaches, sorry, were part of that time period. So yeah, it's really cool.
Oh man, I
Man.
love it. As somebody who not only runs a school but also your own competition, how do you balance the competitive mindset as well as a coach's mindset?
It's hard. So I, because you're asking as I'm competing and coaching,
Yeah.
is that your question?
Hmm.
So like for last
Okay, it's
fusion.
yeah. So um, I haven't competed in a while. I think my previous to this year. So I was very active this year for fighting, and but prior to that, my last competition was a just a randomly I jumped into the 80cc trials, not the last one, but the one before,
Yeah.
just the trials. And it was the one, I think that was the one Adele won the first one, Josh Saunders won the men's one, and I just randomly jumped in that. I did maybe a 3 4 week camp just to say, hey, I did an 80cc trial and won my first match, lost my second match, but that was Yeah, so I don't even know what year that was. I mean, that's 4 or 5 years ago,
What was
and I
it,
randomly jumped
2020?
in there just as a bucket list thing. As I said, I was happy with my first match, but the second match, I fucked around too much. Again, I fell back into my own traps of like fighting in bad spots, and then of course you're down on points. But then I started focusing on teaching, which I love, and I'm very blessed at Resilience. And shout out to Dan for giving me the opportunity to work there. And I love, it's been such a good experience. The culture there is great. The guys are hard, like it's a hard gym, but also like a very community based gym, like family orientated, and like we just got good people there. It's just a beautiful culture. And then I got to the end of 2024, and I was looking at the scales because I had a really good year, 2024. I was very happy, just a lot of good things happening in my life, and just got super comfortable. And man, I was like looking at the scales, going, man, Jez, bloody hell, I was like 136 kilos, and listen, it's not the biggest I've ever been, but it's the biggest I've been in a long time. And I'm like, okay, I need to change something up, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna start just eating a bit cleaner. I'm gonna start, I don't know, just it was the right motivation. And then the fight for Fusion got offered to me to fight Fernando, and I said, awesome, fight camp, you know, eat clean, like try to drop some weight and then have that match. I just want to actually, I just say very quickly, I was trying to work it out. I've only fought Brazilians this year. I haven't fought, fought Brazilians.
Well,
It's like they've got a problem with me. I
yeah,
don't know why. I think I'm a friendly person, and they're all coming after me. All
I
right.
love it.
I'm not trying to change it. I'm not trying to change it to Panda Jiu Jitsu. It's still Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
I promise. So
I was
they're
gonna
all
say
coming
though, it's
after
pretty
me.
wild that for that fight you look to drop weight because he's fucking enormous. I would be like,
Yeah.
I need to keep up. That's the guy that can't fought at Nawaza.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
huge.
He's jacked. He's a big boy, man. And can I say he's the biggest sweetheart? Like he's
Yeah,
a really nice guy.
yeah.
But going into that fight, I wasn't like I was just focusing on that fight. It was the first time in a long time I actually wanted to do a competition. Like I haven't wanted to compete. My last Panpags was 2017, so prior to this year. So I haven't competed in, like I said, 7, 8 years, like at IBJJ. And I was just really hungry to get into a fight. I mean, camp went really well, and I'm like motivated, and I'm like just focused on the fight, and even on the day, and like I say this with Blood because me and Fernando still talk to each other and stuff like that. When I went to the weigh-ins and the face-off, like I'm gonna kill you, dude. Like that was my mentality. Like honestly, and I've never ever felt that way for a fight. Like it's something I've always struggled with, and I'm like, no, I'm coming to win. Like it was the first time ever because I'm mentally like I struggle with like competing and competition, and obviously I was very lucky to get the win. It was a King Kong Godzilla match until eventually got the takedown, got on top and got the points. And picked him up after the fight because I even told myself like in the fight like I had to visualize like I'm gonna celebrate, I'm gonna jump on the cage, and then I'm like I'll break the cage if I jump on the cage because I'm too heavy, so I'm not gonna jump on the cage. And I couldn't I as soon as the fight was over, it's like no, that's not me. Picked him up, gave him a big hug, and I'm like, dude, you're the fucking man, like all the love, thank you for the opportunity. And that was an awesome win. And it's like, okay, cool. And my biggest wins were obviously I got in there, fought in the cage for the first time, never fought in a cage, in my BJJ career. Got the win, which was awesome. I think I got down to 125 for the fight, which is really cool. Like, I mean, that was a 11 kilo drop in 5, 6 weeks.
Huge.
And I've kept it off, which was kind of cool. And like I said, I just got healthy and I felt good. I'm like, awesome. And then that was a great fight. And then I didn't fight till again when I fought
Gusto.
Augusto. And, yeah, and that was a hard loss. I just want to say, I'm going to say this right now. I'm really mad at Augusto. Fuck that guy. Can I just say why?
Yeah.
Because this guy went in with a different mentality because he was going to propose after the fight. That's bullshit, man. All I wanted was a kebab after the fight, man. So
yeah, that's fair.
I go, that's bullshit, bro. I'm not happy about that, man. Why couldn't you just get a burger or something? No, I'm going to propose. There's no way he was going to lose that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just liked Jaden's eyebrows were like, why are you calling out a Gusto
Bro,
right now?
I'm like, I love Augusto. What did he do?
Can I say, he was an absolute gentleman after the fight. Again, another one, man. Wins or losses, like
Yeah.
it didn't matter. I go in there. We went to war. I was like, it was honestly, such an honor to fight him, man. Like, honestly, it was just, he's obviously killing it. Like, he's winning like everything,
Mm.
and we had a good fight. And like I said, I make no excuses. I lost the fight. I don't want to sit there and make any excuses. It was a fun fight, even though, like I said, obviously when I win, disappointed. But we shook hands afterwards, gave a big hug, and like we talked about, we still talk now. He's a machine, and like all the credit to him, man. Like again, I don't want to sit there and ever make an excuse for why I lost. He's a very good fighter. I will say I respected the fact that he output on energy is exactly 7 minutes because that's how long those matches are. So after the fight, he's done because he spent all his energy. And I'm like, after the fight, I had energy to spare. So he understands output way better than me. And of course, super active in competition and all the credit to him. I got no bad blood with him. I just wanted to scare the shit out of you,
Hey,
Jaden.
hey, just on that though. So he had that ulterior motive. Hey, Luke. Hey, Luke.
If you want to win Fusion. I love it.
It's funny because Luke's girlfriend's actually in
In the
studio.
room,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the room.
Shit.
Yeah.
Luke,
That's so funny.
I love it. I love you. Want superpowers? We
So,
now
yeah.
know how.
You just got to have an ulterior motive. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, and you know what? I won anyway because I had the kebab anyway, even when I lost. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Now, your school Resilience, it is an incredible facility. It has the Australian judo team involved. You have Daniel Kelly involved. You have Callum Potter. I believe Duke visits quite a lot too. So tell us about your school and how many things are you guys involved in? Because you've got the combat jits, the judo, BJJ. It's bananas.
MMA, big part of the MMA. You got the judo, the Olympic judo team. You've got BJJ. There's also CrossFit. Yeah, that's the four main things. They've got a very strong kids program for BJJ there. Not BJJ, sorry, for judo. They've got a very strong kids judo program there. A lot of the up and coming kids are coming through that program. I mean, look, man, Dan's a very, very intelligent coach and fighter. His fight IQ is through the roof. He's like I've said this so many times, but he's so physically broken even when he was in the UFC. Like his body was shattered, and he made it to like top 15. And like he's had some big wins, man. Rashad Evans was a big win.
Yeah.
Antonio Silva, Shoeface was a huge win. And that was all through how strong he is mentally. And he's made for fighting. Where I'm very envious of that ability for him to just switch on. And like even in the fight camps, even though the Augusto fight didn't go my way, working with Dan and understanding the strategy of the clinch and stuff like that, he's super intelligent. And like Dan's just got to understand a fighter mentality. He's been in five Olympics, for Australia, and UFC top 15, and this is all whilst having a broken body, still running a gym, like doing all this kind of stuff, and it's been really cool. And he's just he's a hard person, but he's a very caring person. Like and he's just a no bullshit person, which is I love, and it's really refreshing. I'm kind of the teddy bear mascot of Resilience. Like I just kind of soften everything, again, going back to the panda thing, but like, it's just it's a different mentality. Like, where very, very, like Dan's very, very sharp with his knowledge. And obviously super, I mean, he's coached high level guys forever. I mean, he was in the corner of like a lot of the Australian UFC guys have all at one point or another gone through, Resilience, with Dan, so I think what you're asking is like, why is it so high level? It's, Dan holds a high caliber, a high standard, but also has a very strong family values, which is and he stands by them, and that's I think that's the secret sauce, man. be competitive, but like, resilience is such an appropriate name for that gym because those guys are just all like, everyone's very rock hard and like they can persevere and power through. And yeah, I mean, at BJJ, it's just I coach differently. I don't put a lot of pressure on the guys. Like, that's a big thing for me. I encourage them to compete for learning experience than winning.
Yep.
I changed the mindset. That's a big thing because there's a lot of pressure in like competitions, and I've mentioned this before, like back in the day, and there's a lot of people that shit on you when you lose. They're there to be opinionated, and they're only there for the wins, and that's just something you learn, and that doesn't matter where you are, or that's just life, unfortunately, where people like they only want to be there for you win. It's like I want to be there when you lose, win, draw. I want to see when you're winning at life. If you're having a kid, that's awesome. Let's celebrate that. And there are bigger things than jiu-jitsu. Don't get me wrong, like, it's a huge part of my life, but I mean, it's if all you cling to is like the wins and losses of like a competition and you don't look beyond that, it's very important for me to I don't pressure guys into competition. I'm never negative. I always shake hands with the coach that win or lose. I always make sure I always shake hands with the other coach. My guys are just really good people. I mean, they're very good sportsmen, and like I just wouldn't tolerate anything less. And like how you conduct yourself is more important than the win or loss. And like our guys win. Like there's they do really well. I've got some killers, and like I don't know, it was last year or the year before. I think it's so 2 years ago we won the overall at Grappling Industries. We won
Did yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
overall, which was a huge win for us. Like it was a big deal, and like all my guys are part timers, man. They're regular guys that do regular jobs, and like we absolutely killed it, and I was so proud. Like that was a big win for resilience, and like we only in the with obviously with Ninos's blessing, I said, Ninos, I just want to, and we agreed. He said, bro, at outside of like IFBJJ and AFBJJ comps, you can do whatever you want, and we wanted to see how well we could do in like grappling industries, which is obviously one of the biggest competitions in Australia, and the guys killed it, and was so proud, and like obviously it was a big win. But like I said, win, lose or draw, it doesn't matter. I tell my guys, man, look, be disappointed. Like don't just go in there and I just participated. You should fight to win. You should put yourself on the line, and it should hurt when you lose. Like, but how you if you treat it negatively and not constructively, then that's a problem. Like if you're just going to hate on yourself, which is something I did, and I didn't want that for my students. That's a big one. Like for anyone's students, like I always make sure I pick the other guy up if they're disappointed, even if it's the opponent. Go, man, you did good, bro. Like you did. You're out there competing, and fuck the haters. That's the truth. Like, don't go in and lose. Like, oh, I participated, and you just like to deliberately lose and just have that mentality. Oh, it doesn't matter. Going for the win matters. The win doesn't, but going for the win. Yeah, sorry, ranting.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
good. It's
that's
good.
a
Look, we
oh,
had three questions. I'm sitting there reading the question. I'm like, you've answered everything. That would have just been all three questions in one. I love it. Go for
It
it,
was
bro.
actually perfect. So last weekend I had the privilege to compete in your quintet, and I want to ask, what made you want to start the quintet?
I I found that going into competitions, there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear around people competing. And jiu-jitsu, even though we're on teams, it's a very individual sport. Like, when you're out there, you're on your own. Like in a lot of competitions, yes, you've got people coaching you, and yes, but when you're in that setting, it's for a long time I thought about how can how can this not be so isolating and alone, and I'm like, and then watch the Sakuraba, the quintets, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool, and points don't matter. Like, I mean, points are always a thing where I don't think points reflect a fight, and how exhausting and people can be. Like, for example, like even though Augusto won, and all the props to him, he was up like I think 12 or 14-0. But in that fight, and he will tell you this, like like he had my back and I popped his ankle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had a toe hold on him. And when we come out of that fight, we're both like, he was, you know, he knew he was in a fight. And again, it's not big noting myself, but like, you watch some fights and like the score doesn't reflect the fight.
Mm.
And I'm like, how can we just like, how can we orientate towards submissions, you know, and how can we, and then I watched the quintet, and there was just some crazy performance where the guys didn't give a shit about the points, and it was like, this is what good jiu-jitsu is. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, this is really cool. How can I make this work? And then we started doing I did an interclub quintet, and and we did round robin. So I had only 4 teams in the first one, so 20 people, just from Brazilians. And we just like, all right, guys, this is for bragging rights in the gym. Let's make some teams, like, you know. And this is without restrictions. And I'm like, it was the most fun that people had, and it was like, oh, okay, cool, the elimination and stuff like that. And it started with like 5-minute rounds, and like, oh, this is really cool. And then we invited some gyms from outside that were just friends in the gyms, and then we went to like 8 teams, you know. And then, long story short, we've gone to the current quintet where we had 18 squads. You know, we had 4 women's squads, which was incredible. I mean, women don't get a lot of opportunities in grappling. So, I mean, 20 girls got to fight, which is incredible, and they fought amazing. It was super fun. We had the 12-man squad, so 3 brackets of the guys, and we had the super fight of 2 previous champions. So it's like we had this thing where it started out just as an interclub thing, and it grown, and man, it's I'm proud of it because we had over 300 people at the event.
Mm.
Like it's a local event, and it's so much fun. And like I said, we've talked about this in the past, like individually and personally, but like we do 3-minute rounds. Like that's unheard of in BJJ.
So
It's
fun.
like,
I love it.
short, bro, it's the best, and like
Yeah.
it's so fast, and like it also, one thing I love about the quintet, and again, it's something I repeat over and over. It's like, because it's the different belt levels, because the team structure is a brown black belt, 1 purple belt, 1 blue, or 2 blues, and then you got the 2 white belts, and then 2 of those guys that aren't the captain have to be under 80 kilos. So you get this mix of levels, and on any given day, in those 3-minute rounds, anything can happen.
Yep.
A white belt could have this incredible performance against this black belt. Okay, you know, this ultra heavyweight guy can't put this little guy away, and that's David versus Goliath. And it's about the story, and like the double elimination's awesome, and then the strategy changes, and it's like all you're getting is action.
Yep.
It's just action, and like there's no losers. Like in my mind, like you watch it, and it's like you watch people have incredible performances, but you don't think about the guy that lost because it's a team event. And that's what I love. And it's like, you can have these incredible, like, I think I jumped in on the first one where we went to other gyms, and like, I replaced someone, and I had a really good day. I think I had 13 fights. Like,
Wow.
so
There's only one way you have
and there was a
13
lot of fights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a
You gotta
quintet
mix
is
up.
crazy.
But our guys, my team, even with 13 fights, and I think I had 13 fights. I didn't get subbed, but I think I had 3 draws. Like, oh, you know, we double elimination. But my team still didn't make it to the final. So an
Wow.
individual effort didn't matter. No matter if I was the highest belt on the day, the biggest guy on the day, as a team as a whole, that's how the scoring works. And it's like, it's not an individual event. And it's very, very easy to rely on one person. And we've seen so many times at these tournaments, if you have just one killer, if they find a way to eliminate that killer,
You're
your team's done.
screwed.
Like you
Yeah.
can't have one star. And it's just about believing. And like I said, the energy of the day is just crazy. And like, I'll say, like, I've had offers to like, hey, let's make this bigger and go to like a venue and put it on, and like go to like, you know, make it like a fusion show. And I've said no, because it's not a fusion show. Fusion is incredible. It is a professional show. I love fusion. I'm a big advocate. Mateo, I love, you know, obviously Mateo's like family to me, and that show is the best. It's the best jiu-jitsu show in Australia. hands down. But what I've got is like it's like street ball. You know, you got NBA and then you got the street ball, right?
Yeah.
What event can you go to where you sit on the mats as a spectator,
Mm.
you know, and you're there and the rolls can fall on top of you, you know, like it's crazy. It's like I'm gonna tell guys like bring your cameras, like you know you can't go anywhere near the mats at most competitions. I encourage you. I say get on the mats, like actually be a part of it, and like we have you know, I try to keep the pricing down because I understand like life is expensive. Like obviously it's a hard balance of like, you know, I try not to charge too much money to individuals and like, you know, I want there to be, I want to input as much as I can without being at a deficit. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I really believe in it. I love the BJJ community, and this is the for me. And I might be biased. I think this is the best, most exciting competition for guys that are at a local level
Mhm.
and more than and I'm not shitting on any other competition. I love all the other competitions. I love Savage. I love IFBJJ. I love Grappling Industries. I support all these competitions,
Mhm.
and I think they do a great job. But I think the energy of like community and team and stuff, there's nothing like it more than the quintet. And that's why I love it. That's why I keep doing it. It's exhausting, man. I told you guys before we
Yeah.
started this, I'm still wrecked from the weekend, and all I did was ref and
Mm.
just glare at people. Like that was repping and glaring. That's essentially what that was my job. But it was a great day. I'm so proud of like the people that I invite. And again, I don't invite dickheads. Like I really don't. I don't like negativity. I want it to be community based. I want it to be fun and like, you know, it's about that journey and it's as I said, for me, it's like it's kind of unbeatable. But again, I'm biased. It's my event, so you know, I gotta live with that. So
Oh, 100%. It's incredible to see how passionate about the whole quintet you are. You perfectly
yeah.
answered my next question, which was why is quintet so special? You completely covered it. So what gets me on to my next question is what are some of the challenges or some of the behind the scenes of the quintet?
Besides getting the team captains to get all their registrations in.
That's the outside of that. Look, man, I'm I gotta say though, I'm on the case just because I just do I dot all my I's and cross my
Of
T's.
course.
That's just me
No,
as a
I'm
thing.
just
I think I think the hardest thing is obviously getting a whole squad involved. It's already hard enough for fights where man, you guys watch MMA all the time. How many injuries happen? And that's individual fights. Trying to keep a squad together of five people not getting injured, that's really difficult. And obviously gradings as well. Like you got to think we did the event in you know in November. You know, a lot of people have already started their gradings at the start of November after pretty much post Pampax. Most gyms start doing their gradings for their Christmas break up. So that's definitely one thing. I mean, there's always opportunities to do grading at the quintet, AJ
yeah. Look, there
and
could be
Brighton.
something. I
Huh?
mean, we were in talks for a fucking hot minute. My words were Brighton needs a fucking blue belt, dude. I can't wait another day.
Literally,
No,
So
yeah,
and
good feeling.
no one questioned that, man. Big congratulations, Brighton, on getting your blue, bro.
Thank
That
you.
was that was. I'm honored that I could have facilitated that for Jaden because Jaden asked me, he goes, I don't want to overstep or anything like that. I go, this is a really cool moment. Like, I mean,
Mm.
you got to share. Not a lot of people get that moment, bro. So like,
Yeah. I
you know,
didn't
all the props
expect
to
it at
Jaden for
all.
organising that.
I wasn't sus or
Yeah,
nothing
he
like
thought
that.
I was cutting a promo,
I
and I was like, I
genuinely
got
thought
him.
he was cutting a promo, and it means a lot. Thank you so much, especially coming from somebody like yourself. It really means a lot. Thank you. But also
no.
talking about the quintet, how do you see the future of quintet going? Is there expansions? Any things you'd like to change about it? What does the future look like?
I definitely am like so. One thing that I'm scrapping now, like we keep bringing up 3 minutes, is what we did for the women's match because they didn't have as many matches was make it 5 minutes, and
Mhm.
also in the super fight and the finals they were 5 minutes. And honestly, after getting used to the speed and the pace of a 3 minute fight, 5 minutes seems so much longer.
It does.
That's getting scrapped. It's just going to be all 3 minute matches, and the reality is it's not a 3 minute fight because it's teams, you're looking at 20, 25 minutes.
Hmm.
Um, as far as, yeah, so that's getting scrapped. I've already made that decision. So, and I just, like I said, want action. Um, it's really cool. Like I spoke to the girls. I want to run an all-female event, which would be kind of sick. If you
Ooh.
can imagine, we get 8, 10, 12 squads of women, like, actually competing in one single event. It'd be sick. Like I said, like the curse of, like, for example, the black belt heavyweight, I'm lucky to get one or two fights. Girls, it's like they're lucky to get a fight, and
Mhm.
because there's not enough exposure or not enough experience. But like in particular in Australia, I would say in America and Brazil, it's a little bit better. Obviously, because it's been around a little bit longer. Like Australia is a little bit behind in that regard. But it's growing, and it's like if I can just be a little stepping stone where I can help grow that, that'd be sick. And if I'm hoping that with enough support from obviously the teams and from the community, but also from the girls themselves, if I could run an all-female event, that'd be sick. That's one of my big goals for 2026. Um, and like I said, the 3 minute. Um, I think we're kind of finding the balance on it. And I look as far as growth, like the 2 a year is pretty good at the moment. If it's organically grows and they need more squads, I mean, cool. I think it's kind of a nice kind of like obviously I think it's a good way to end the year and then look at a mid-year one. It's kind of you look forward to it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like
Get that FOMO.
I think one of the criticisms of like UFC, for example, now that I think is a very fair one is like it's so saturated. There's like an event every single week. Like it's hard to keep up. Like I used to love, like I'm a big UFC fan, but I've got to be honest, like I hardly watch anymore unless it's a major fight because it's like I understand that like for you guys, it's part of your job and stuff, and I still love it. And this is not me shitting on it, but
No.
like it's more that it's so saturated now.
Yeah.
It's like, ah, man, okay, cool. If there's a big enough fight, I'll watch it. If it's not, I'm just not interested. I feel like it's kind of cool to kind of have the bit of keep you hungry, you know what I mean, a little bit. And the twice a year I think's really good. As far as growth, it's just reaching out to I mean, we had people from Geelong, we have people from Shep, we've had teams that we're slowly moving out further and further into Victoria. I mean, there are teams from interstate. I'm not flying you in. I don't make enough money. If you want to
Yeah.
fly in, do it on your own fucking dime, all right?
Yeah,
But
fair.
as I said, whilst it's still a community-based thing, and like I'm quite happy just to provide that for the moment. I think it's a beautiful event. It's bringing people together. As I said, we haven't too much negativity at all, and I've ran publicly. I've probably run about 4 or 5 of these now, and it's as I said, there's little to no animosity at these events, which is so rare. Like you go in a
Mm.
competition, even if you don't dislike people, there's a lot of tension. You go into Pan Packs, like everyone's neck is like tensed
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and like,
Everyone's traps a
and then
little
you
bit
have to
higher.
fight
Yeah.
your third or fourth Brazilian again. Like
Yeah. Well, even my team XFC was against Absolute in the first round, and we were warming up side by side. It was like no animosity
Yeah.
whatsoever. It was
that's it, man. It's hard to, man, because it's like anything goes, and it's like I think as well too. I think it number one, it's a reflection of like I always think you have to be at the head of whatever's going on. It's your responsibility to ripple that down. So if I'm running a quintet, like I'm running the event, it's my philosophy and culture that in my principles that I like as Jaden understands, like I've got a coaches group chat or a team captain group chat, and I'm constantly just reiterating that we want good culture, good vibes, guys. Can you get on top? Like I'm doing this for you guys. Like the promo videos that take me hours,
Yeah.
like, and I mean that, I think they're really cool.
I
Like
love
when you've
them.
got your own like intro, bro, you've got your own intro. You've never had that before. Oh, this is sick. I can show this to my whole
Yeah.
family.
I know
And it's
some
like,
people that
I love them.
I know some people that hate being in front of the camera, like, oh, I don't want to do this, and I'm like, name another time you get to square up with your boys, like,
It's true.
just
It's
Bad.
just
true.
own it.
I love
On the shit talking side though, how come you let so much happen this time in the coaches chat?
Oh my god, I don't want to let it happen. Mr. Odin Otterer, that guy. Do you know what the best was? It was like the rules meeting Zoom call, and he got dressed up for it, and none
No.
of the teams that they were facing in the brackets were in the group chat. So he got dressed up for no reason. Odin just yeah, bro. And you know what? I mean, I'm like, if you're going to go in there and you're going to put a target on your back, be my guest. You know, like it but I will say, like, as funny as it was playful. There's no
Very.
like,
There was
it,
no
do you know what?
animosity. It was the
No, it's
perfect. There was no grey. There was no grey, and there was no black. It was just perfectly like absolutely perfect. So to educate those who aren't up to date on it or in that chat, I think it would have been close to every time Jeremy just reminded us of something. So like, hey guys, just remember to like remind your guys that we need to be punctual. Just it is going to be a bit of a longer day. There's lots of teams, and the owner will reply, "Don't worry about it. We'll be done by 12 o'clock. We'll sub everyone quick enough." Like it's just always Jeremy couldn't say like he would say the word hi, and he'd be like, "Oh, you asking for a wrist lock?" Like it was just, it was so perfect.
it was like cool, and I go, and I even said, and you know what? The best part was I'm in the group chat of their team, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You're putting targets on all our backs." And he goes, "No, just me." I go, "It's a team event, you idiot." But you know, in a way, like I said, whilst it's playful, while it's not malicious,
Yep,
I'm all for it, man.
dude.
Like yeah, it's. But my God, Odin, you're representing me. What are you doing?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
tag
but
in this post.
I
Yeah.
will say though, it is the perfect representation of the right amount of banter and the how fucking awesome the quintet is, man. Because there should always be banter when it comes to a team event. So I'm all for it. Odin's a lock.
You need a PG villain at events,
Yep.
not an R-rated villain, a PG villain.
Yep.
Okay, just this guy that talks banter like a pro wrestling, a '90s pro wrestling villain, like a bad guy that's
Yep.
a heel. That's what you. And he was that guy.
He'll love it. I love it.
Okay. And just before we wrap things up, before you mentioned you're working with an organization, families affected by violence, can you run us through that a bit?
Yeah, so the organization is called Emerge. So yeah, it works with like as we said, it works with families of violence. Which they reached out to me just casually, and as I said to you guys, I didn't know if it was like a scam, but I get like requests for the Bamboo Dojo business all the time, and they're like, "Hey, no, I actually saw you at a grading. I just happened to see your name and looked you up, and I'm like, we like what you're selling and things like that. Um, we're going to be working a program helping kids, you know, like give them a physical activity to to burn some energy whilst trying to rebuild their confidence and their stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And they, as I said, through negotiations, I kind of got everything I wanted as far as like financially being able to make a living off it too, and started working with these amazing kids, and it jiu-jitsu just everything that we say about it, like jiu-jitsu is so good for you, it's great for kids, like martial arts in general is like just this really good outlet, and um all that was like tenfold. And these amazing kids were like, so they've gone through some stuff that I can't talk about, very confidential,
Of
but
course.
very heavy stuff you can't imagine. Honestly,
Mm.
it's like if you were to hear it, you feel it
Wrong.
in you. Like
Yeah.
it feels so wrong. But these like even just basic things like, I mean, it's a essentially at this moment it's a 20-week program, so 2 terms. But the amount of stuff that like I get out of it because of just how incredible these kids are. They're learning, like kids that were antisocial just because of their circumstances are now making friends. Like they're understanding that you know violence or fighting isn't necessarily a negative thing, because that's been a tool that's been used in their lives that's negative. You know what I mean? So it's been used against them. But I'm working with these incredible people, this incredible team of like really caring people that actually, it's just you want to you want to break the cycle of negativity or the cycle of thing. And if you can help a small group of people in a way, any way you can, it's like, and these kids are just like, they're kind of not, it's not in just jujitsu, but they're flourishing through this program, and the results have just been staggering, more so than things. So kids that are, I use this not in a joking way because we say it in the BJJ community, but like a little bit on the spectrum,
Mm.
they're able to socialize a little bit more. They're able to have conversations and like a lot of obviously it's sad, but I mean they don't have positive male role models in their life because of their circumstances. Like man, it's just the norm. Like I mean, but now it's like okay, we can build that confidence and like it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be human. Like and what we take for granted, and we can just like yeah, that's logical. A lot of these kids don't have that,
Mm.
and it's just this. It's been honestly, like I think I get as much out of it, more as much as the kids do. But they're just growing and developing so much, and we're slowly trying to build the program. This is a government funded program. This is something a lot of jiu-jitsu guys have talked about for years, and it's just a hard thing to get on board because obviously, jiu-jitsu, if you watch it, it's quite aggressive. And it's
Mm.
quite like if you watch two people wrestle, it's like it's very confronting. It's obviously very close quarters. It's very I use the word intimate. It's a very intimate fighting thing, and it's like it's very confrontational. Where you think a lot of like you know a lot of people that have experienced any sort of abuse or assault or anything like that, and that's the familiar thing where these kids have learned that it's okay to wrestle, it's okay to play fight. There's actually a positive way to be like to be physical and do this kind of stuff and like get positive reinforcement. Like these kids get beaten down by negativity all the time. It's like you're not there to tell them off. They already get that, you know,
Mm.
and like they're learning. They're not, and like no one's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm less perfect than I'll say anyone. But like it's been this amazing journey and seeing these kids over a 20-week period and teaching them jujitsu. And having a positive outlook on their life is what we want for our adults and stuff like that. But this is to an extreme level, which I didn't think would happen. It's like, oh, cool, I'm just teaching jujitsu. Like, like I run classes all the time. And yes, it's a positive experience. Yes, I love it. But like, this is actually affecting change in people's lives. And it's really, and I feel honored being a part of something like that. And it's growing. We're looking at different locations. It's like, and we're getting a lot of support from the government. They're seeing such positive results. So the program I'm working with, it's called Emerge, Women and
Emerge.
Children Support. So I can't stress it enough. And like, you know, I just encourage people like, jiu-jitsu can really help people. And like, and what you might seem is like just a regular thing, something you take for granted. Um, there's a real benefit to helping people that are struggling or and I'm absolutely honored to be part of that, so it's really really cool.
Yeah, it really is truly beautiful and massive props and respect to you. It's no secret how much all of us here love the sport of jiu-jitsu. So to see that not only it helping people, but also growing the sport, it's an incredible thing. For anybody listening at home that wants to support or get involved, how can they go about doing so?
So you can emerge I think .gov. I don't know the website, but if you look up emerge women and children support, you can support them through their website. You can reach out and I mean that's a big thing. I'm like I said, as the program develops, I'm going to be reaching out to the BJJ community. If there's, it's just such a beautiful thing to get on board with that. So yeah, emerge women and children support. So yeah, just as I said, give a Google search. A lot of it's confidential because obviously the nature of the circumstances of the families, but yeah, it's an incredible venture, and I'm very very proud and honored to be a part of it.
Love it.
Amazing, man. Well, look, this has been amazing. I think we planned for about half an hour and we're over an hour in, so we cannot say thank you so much for
Oh,
your
sorry
time.
guys.
Dude, time flies when you're
Sorry for
having
taking
fun.
so
But is there anything else you wanted to bring up or anything else you wanted to really make sure that everyone hears before we wrap up? Anything upcoming? Any big fights for the students? Anything at all?
We've got for the moment we've got honestly it's been a good year. Big thank you to everyone that participated in the most recent quintet,
Yeah,
the
thanks
quintet.
for having us.
You guys, oh man, it's just been sick that we're looking, as I said, looking at doing three next year, one all female event, and then the two standard men's events. Fusion is coming up, guys, in I think in February. I mean,
Yeah.
that is, and I'm not exaggerating. That is the card to beat. So I've got, I think, two of our guys. We've got both were on the previous fusion with me, Wani, um, and Lachlan jumping in on that. So I 100%
Hell
support
yeah.
that, guys. Do not miss out. It's probably going to be one of the biggest BJJ Australian events ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ever.
Ever. I mean, there's a few. There's a few. Obviously, we can't talk about the fights that are on it just yet, but I'm very excited to see that. And honestly, just guys, don't be afraid to. I mean, reach out to other teams. Like I said, I've got friends from different affiliations and stuff like that. We've got an awesome community. I mean, Jaden, I've known you for. I mean, really, probably known you for maybe a decade. I think
Yep.
possibly. Is
Yep.
that how long you've been doing
It'd be
grappling?
close.
You used to have big bloody ponytail. I think when I first met you.
Don't talk out my dirty laundry.
Yeah, this is
Luke,
news to me. I'm
If
not
you
gonna
can
lie.
if you can find a photo, if you can find that ponytail photo, please post it on
Which one?
on the page, man.
Which one?
Your ponytail photo, just have the long hair.
Alright, yeah. I'll get something out there. I'll have to edit the crap out of it, but I'll get it out there.
Look like a 90s karate villain. Like that's the kind of
No
haircut. Yeah.
way.
I wonder where you
But
saw
no,
that.
we're
Probably at the old what was Jamie's competition called back in the day?
Renegade.
The Renegade
Renegade
ones.
comp?
Yeah, Renegade. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
It's
there.
club. Yeah, it's club. Yeah, that was great. Oh man, dude, just going way back. It's so sick.
Dude, another one that got lost in time, hey? But
Bad. Oh well, it happens. There's a new one called Grappling Haven. I highly recommend that you guys participate in that
well,
one too. That's
fr-
a great competition.
from what I've heard, it's definitely not as good as the Quintet, but I'm not joking. I'm kidding. Different avenues, man. I love it. Nah, thank you so much. Where can people follow you? How can they support the school?
Yeah. So I mean, you got my main facility. I teach at Resilience Training Center in Footscray. Obviously high level competition. We talked about it all now. Also do some work out in Warragul at Tribe MMA with Cal Costa. So I go
Okay.
there as well. Awesome people. If you want to see what's going on in the world of the Panda, you've got at Jerome Maitland at Instagram or at the bamboodojo.com. So, yeah, happy to reach out, happy for a chat. Boys, thank you so much for having me. Got a lot of love for you. This has been a fun conversation.
Dude,
Thank you so
thank you
much for
so much
jumping
for your
on.
time. And we'll catch you soon, man. We'll see you hopefully before Christmas. Are you at Savage next
Hopefully
week?
before Christmas. Is Savage next week or is it Grappling Industries?
I can't remember.
I think it's
Savage is
yeah,
next week.
I
Savage.
think it's Grappling. Is
Uh,
it Savage
uh,
next week?
yeah.
We'll have to
I
have a look. I've got to look at the calendar. I think
Alright.
there's two comps before the end of the year.
I
We'll see.
know.
Hope so.
Possibly.
Easy, man. Well, we will see you at those. Jeremy, it's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you all very much for tuning into this interview. We will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
See you guys.
See you, man.
Thank you so much,
Oh,
Jeremy.